Hey there, VC, it's Eric. This time around, showing some CDs that come in these different kinds of unusual packing. And I don't know why, I was just cleaning some stuff up and figured that I'd show some of these because I have a lot of these, as you can see. I have more than this, but this is the ones I grabbed. And I don't know, sometimes this kind of packaging is obnoxious because it rips or tears. There's not much you can do to replace it. Sometimes it's helpful because it's nice and small. Starting off with something I've showed before, Enigma Variations. This is the CD version of the classic 80s, mid-80s punk, metal, cowpunk, alternative compilation. Jet Blackberries, Naked Prey, Tex and the Horseheads. Lots of great stuff on here. All you Psych fans, all you 80s Psych fans, it's got Rain Parade and Plastic Land and great stuff on here. So that's a classic. Sigur Rós, this is close to what's left of my Sigur Rós collection, I believe. I might have one or two other of their albums. I had a whole bunch of them at one point and just never played them. So during a purge time, they got sold. Raymond Scott, who was a composer. He did a lot of classical kind of stuff. Early pioneer of electronics. A lot of his music was adapted from Looney Tunes. You'd recognize some of his classic tunes. But this is just a bunch of experimental stuff. It's not the easiest thing in the world to listen to, but I bought that like probably 15 years ago now. Exploited. A bunch of this stuff is going to come from things that were label samplers or stuff that came in magazines. This has got Rise Against, Swinging Utters, the Mad Caddies, No Effects, Bad Astronaut. A lot of those 90s punk bands. Safety Pin Records. Hey, wow. There's even a personalized note on here. I'm going to leave it on there. They were a high-energy rock and roll punk label out of Spain. And this is a sampler of their stuff. It's got... Well, I can't even really tell because... Anyway, that's kind of cool. All you metalheads, Root of All Evil Records, 3rd anniversary. This has got a bunch of lesser-known metal stuff from the 90s and 2000s. Root of All Evil is based out of Minneapolis. I don't know if the store is still there or not. I know that the main guy who ran it, Earl, died of cancer years ago, but this has got Impaler on it, who are friends of mine, and that's why I've got that. So now I've got 5 of these from this band called The Royal Purple, and they were one of these deals where you just wrote to them and they sent them to you. And I wanted this because they did a cover of a Joe Meek song, which of course I didn't look beforehand. Hey, there's a Music Machine cover on here, and Del Shannon. Let's see if I can find that really quickly. So this is kind of just cool psyche stuff. I don't know how available any of this stuff still is or not. Yeah, this is great stuff. I know, great VC. Anyways, yeah, cool stuff there. Continental Magazine. They were a surf and garage rock magazine in the 90s. And this came with one of the early issues. So then I got a bunch of, I believe these are Carbon 14 compilations. Carbon 14 was a wrestling and rock and punk magazine out of Philadelphia. Lots of stuff. Scandinavian stuff, Australian stuff, Arizona, Detroit. They also did Fistful of Rock and Roll 13-1, which I should have shown with my with the episode I did on that. Right now we get into some singles. Nomads from Sweden. Doing Crystal Ball with Mirrors. This is a Thermals tour CD. The Thermals are a really great punk band. If you like the Minutemen, you should check out the Thermals. Social Distortion, When Angel Sings. This has got Shame on Me, which is an Ursula Hickey cover. It's got Lonesome Train. It's got Ring of Fire and Alone and Forsaken. So it's got some cool stuff on here. I mainly got this for the Shame on Me, which I'm a fan of. Sinale, Psychobilly from, I want to say, the Netherlands. They do Detroit 442, which I believe is a Blondie song. Cheap Trick. This is the Steve Albini stuff they did in 97. And this has got a cover of Brontosaurus by The Move on it. All right, Rancid. This is a Roots Radical EP, and I Want to Riot's on the other side. I'm not a huge Rancid fan, but I like that Out Come the Wolves album. Jesus and Mary Chain. This is when they were working with the singer from Mazzy Star. She was dating one of those guys at the time, but this is the single that I got when that came out. And then the Thunder Gods, which were a Rochester, New York garage rock band back in the late 90s. And finally, for Andy, Oxford American. So Oxford American is a magazine, and every year they would put out a music issue or a music tie-in issue that had a lot of southern kind of stuff on it. The tracks on here I really like are the Del McCoury Band version of 1952 Vincent Black Lightning, and this has also got Collins Kids, Hot Rod, and Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell, Little Girl from Arkansas. So kind of interesting stuff. Anyways, hope everyone's having a good weekend, and catch you guys all later.